Thank you, Sirisha. Now let us move to our second session of the evening. It is my honor to welcome Mrs. Priyanka Kamath to take her session on building an AI first mindset for the future workforce.
Hi everyone. I hope I'm audible firstly.
1 minute, ma'am. Yeah, you are audible.
Right, madam. Okay, great.
1 minute, ma'am.
Um,
1 minute. Okay. Building an AI first mindset for the future workforce promises to offer actionable strategies and inspiring insights. Ma'am, it's a privilege to have you here. The stage is yours. Thank you, ma'am. Please continue.
thank, thank
And
you, ma'am, for the warm introduction. I am always honored to be on your sessions, and it's a hard follow-up after Prashant's session. So I'll try my best. But I believe whatever knowledge we are sharing currently on this session is more equipped to design your curriculums and your sessions for your students. So I believe whatever you will take from here would help the students you're teaching far more, because the generative AI landscape is mostly going to change for freshers, because it's almost, it's scientific record proven that within 5 years, 56% of the fresher jobs are going to get impacted. We might not even see 9 to 5 jobs anymore. So this is mostly for them so that we could shape our curriculum and sessions for benefit. So here we go. Firstly, you must all faculty and esteemed leadership here. Thank you for giving us the opportunity, and we've come to your college also spoken about how to build a skill first economy. So technically, it's all about how to stick no matter what kind of technology comes. Now, yes, AI has taken over. We are already seeing cryptographic quantum computing into the into the backend arena already. So with all this volatility and all the different kinds of changes, um, how do we still stay relevant in the workforce is what matters. So this is where we go to our next slide. So how to get ready for an AI driven world, right? So it's basically not going to be your standard data structure jobs anymore. It will not be how much Python you know, how much C, Java you know. It's going to be more about building that humanizing AI, which requires a certain set of power skills, as I may call it. So far, having soft skills, having people skills, leadership skills was not considered so much of a lucrative way of getting a job, especially in a country like India, where we have a fascination to fix technology for everything. What is the latest technologies that we learn? Do we know cryptography? Do we know AI? Is that how we are going to land jobs? Not anymore, because already we are seeing Google is doing 25% of its coding through AI. So we are going to see this number steeply increase. In fact, like I was saying, within 5 years, we're not even going to see the 9 to 5 jobs anymore. It's going to be a gig worker led economy where, based on your skills, you're able to come up with the job market and actually drive the job market yourself. So why I say this? Because World Economic Forum also has the studies on it, that it now is the time to start building new skills online. You will have to go beyond the technology literacy. It's going to be more about people, culture, content writing, sales, and marketing skills. No longer, technology is the moat anymore for industries. The distribution is the moat. How you can effectively automate distribution is what is going to determine how successful an industry is. And that industry is again going to leverage your jobs. I'm sorry if you're getting noise from the kitchen. It's also distracting for me, but I can't help it. We'll have to keep going. So for just continuing, for the first 2 months, it's really incredible for people to build up on that power skills, as I may call it. Try to leverage AI to learn AI. That is how we put it as a mantra in my venture 100 Giga. I also run a skill venture where we bring on students, do experiential learning projects. We source from the startups that are already existing so that there is no big academia to industrial gap like Mr. Divan was also telling yesterday. So we are very thankful for the ecosystem that is being built in Hyderabad, where you're able to approach startups, source projects from them, and actually start building in third year itself. So for that, how we are able to train these students to actually go talk to these different industries. They have to look beyond technological gamut and actually see, hey, look, EV is the next big thing. How do we bring electric vehicles or generate systems engineering thinking for building these electrical vehicles? So that kind of systems thinking will only come when you're actually on the ground, starting to build with these kind of startup led projects, right? So you can start as pilots and then you can go build. And while you are doing this, you are breaking down the systems engineering into a product development life cycle where you will know how to source the scope of your project. You will know how much data goes into building your project. You will know like even if you don't get the data, you will technically, like Prashant was saying in the previous session, like have these incredible tools to build synthetic data in order for you to do these projects. I'll give a simple example just after I complete this slide, which is uh, once we do the first to second month of power skills, then 2 to 3 months of hands-on product development, roadmap etching, go-to-market strategy, which applies to every big company now. Everyone is operating as a startup within the whole company, because that is how you can drive efficiency. And if you want to optimize on risk, optimize on cost and time, that is how one should operate. Think like an entrepreneur within the organization. So this is very much needed to be put in colleges, because ultimately it's the students who are coming out into the workforce that need to start thinking like that. How do we start scoping requirements? How do we start building a product roadmap, put these goals into sprints, even have basic understanding of project management tools like Jira, Asana, how you can structure your complex systems into achievable minimum viable products, right? So that kind of thinking needs to start right in the colleges. And this is exactly why, we had the privilege to actually partner with Amazon through their volunteers. We were spearheaded by mentors. Again, this is a whole volunteer-driven effort where we not only, took these projects from startups and actually started building them. This was in an aim to have a student innovator-led economic growth, where it's not just about the big companies, the big four tech, right, like Amazon, Google, Apple driving economy, but it's our Indian students who are the youngest and brightest builders of our nation driving it. We took capstone projects from for AI in education. We actually took like Zilla Parishad School examples where we could take real-time example where we couldn't see, nobody is talking about ADHD, the kind of learning disabilities that you can have in Zilla Parishad School. That is far beyond anyone's thinking. But maybe that child is supremely talented in cricket or sports, but is made to sit in math and is not able to understand math. So how do you detect these kind of disabilities? For that, we built an educational GPT called Sikshana. Again, a lot of real-time World Health Organization data that needs to be trained and introduced into the system. Only then you will get accurate results. Otherwise, we were getting a precision accuracy of about 65%. That's why we made it as a POC. We are taking some domain-led expertise through, the psychological department to understand more of the learning disabilities. For AgriGPT, we were very thrilled to take projects from Kratos Innovation Lab Singapore. They have been trailblazers since 2016 to understand farmer profitability mechanisms, right from there's a certain type of turmeric that grows in Meghalaya, and it is like supremely costly. It's almost equal to, like, the saffron price, but the farmers are not getting anything in return because there are middlemen exploiting them and taking the profitability. So how we systemize and optimize the supply chain through these large language models, where we can actually take outsource the data that has been, I think Telangana government provides Sagu Bagu database to be, leveraged, and we are able to train just like Kaggle data sets. You can take the data sets and actually train for certain KPIs that you want to track. Be it the geospatial data that can tell you, hey, look, if this crop is suitable for different types of soil, is there cross cultivation needed, how much water can be saved, how much soil can be saved, all those KPIs can be measured. And these are the kind of projects that will help the student actually gain real-time expertise and that critical thinking, problem solving ability, which is actually the top skills touted by World Economic Forum, Gartner, you name any of these, premium measurement entities, they will talk about these power skills. Technology literacy probably will come fifth or sixth on the rank of top skills in 2025. Same for Finance GPT. Like I was saying, we built Dhan Kanya, which actually gives different schemes and scholarships for, state-wise led girls, because every state is different in India. And for, the 16 million, so maybe like 8 million girls, half of the population, we are able to solve a direct problem. In fact, if you take it to schools, 23 million girls are actually dropping out of school. So those kind of problems we've identified and built solutions for that. Again, healthcare, we did touch upon this a bit in our first session, where from the breast cancer imaging tool, you are able to understand what a radiology person will do and actually automate the things that can be decided in terms of data annotation, whether this is a malignant tumor or is it a benign tumor. You are able to do data annotations through maybe 100,000 images and actually come up with the AI algorithmic solution, whether you are able to detect the cancer or not. So we do that through our college partnership, Vvit also, and is our in our network. And then we had this incredible way of building supported models, which were again given skill record reward, which with every particular session that we finished identifying how to choose the foundation models, how to apply the different algorithmic solution to the domain-led problem that we are solving. We were able to reward the students and get them to a different incentive level, where they had access to certain mentors, where they had access to industry leaders. And only with that kind of incentive driven culture economy, we can build robust solutions. So this is what we try to see that we can bring in through our colleges also. So in the third year, when they are given, hey, go for internship, go for internship, but when they actually go for internship, they do not have that demeanor of a working professional, right? So we are actually building that working professional right from the year one of college. And this is where, right from your technological literacy to how to behave in a corporate place, to actually getting incentivized for your hard work, which is extremely needed in today's times, because it's not just enough to build, it's also equally important to showcase. So those are the kind of principles we are bringing to our methodologies. So just continuing with our presentation here. The top skills, as I was saying, which are required for an AI driven workforce at the moment, because every industry that you see is touched upon it. And of course, without the kind of analytical thinking or active learning, no one can survive so many years. Like kudos to Prashant for so many 20 years, and I have done like 14 years of corporate. It is the active learning abilities that will get us, and that will only come through hands-on projects, hands-on ways of approaching a complex problem where every job that you take, how you're able to do systems thinking, break it down into achievable MVPs, and then apply the technology to that. Technology, as you see, is the very last piece that we plug in. So these are again, the top things that we are teaching. Digital literacy also I would like to emphasize because it is also about how you show your work. You would need to have like AI in creative skills, how you can push your different content to different mediums that can actually pay you. So one of the brightest examples that we have, I was working for a shelter home in Hyderabad. This is for 120 orphan girls, and we were like, this is a problem. They have good skills, but they don't know how to showcase it. And then how do we bring them out of the orphanage homes to live a life of dignity? So just starting with basic website building, right, that can actually give them a basic 25,000 rupees per month, right? So that itself is the way to start thinking about digital literacy. Can they build a basic website? How do they start negotiating with the client? How the price negotiation happens, that hey, if certain features are appended on whatever the requirement list is, say you have some dynamic components that require JavaScript plugin, how can these young students actually start negotiating, saying, sir, look, this will take so much amount of time and skills. It is a complex feature that we are building, so we would need to double the money that was quoted. So those kind of negotiation skills also are really helpful, especially in the market. And that starts when you're building basic products right from college. These again, like if you have presentations that need to be shown, sir previously was talking about some research papers or citations. If they want to do that, right, digital literacy skills are equally important, if not more, in today's times. Again, want to emphasize on cybersecurity, cloud computing skills as well, because cybersecurity is going to be the need of the crisis. I say crisis because AI is definitely changing the game in terms of how much there is bias, how much there is, the recent example in the elections that I was giving, that one of the main celebrities was endorsing for a certain politician, and that could have completely changes the vote. How do you detect these AI? Deep fakes is going to be one of the biggest problems to solve. And removing hate speech, how to do sentiment analysis on terabytes of data and actually remove what is not needed as a cyber threat or bullying. That could be one of the biggest ways, your students can land jobs. In fact, we do have some recent hackathons that are happening in February. Would love to invite all your students to come and build. And this is not only be going to build on English, but 22 languages and 1600 dialects, thanks to Bashini LLM, which is India's very own LLM, where we don't have to depend on big tech. And this is where we see it as a big differentiator as well. And then coming next to cloud computing, it doesn't get more important in today's times. In fact, now the data centers are powered by nuclear reactors themselves. So, learning more about these core skills on how data centers are built, how do you even maintain these kind of, data observability techniques, data availability techniques, very important. In fact, big tech has gone all the way to say that, look, we do not need a degree if you just do these kind of certifications in the market. So definitely look up for AWS cloud computing skills. Couple that with AI Bedrock solution, which is a generative AI solution, and you will establish, your students as a AI engineer, AI cloud engineer, even combating safety, which can triple their salary. So adding that layers of skill set onto your already existing tech stack and do wonders to the kind of remuneration that you're seeking from your employer. And then further, interpersonal skills wouldn't emphasize more in today's times. Being a human is more important, and how you're able to bring empathy, kindness to your workplace matters more than ever. You are navigating global teams, you are navigating technically all these different streams from say if you are just starting off as a fresher, and like you are teaching your students how to actually get workforce led participation, then you will need to speak to a whole lot of spectrum. Like it could be one day there are recent incidents in US where the CEO just comes and talks to the intern, right? So how do you talk at the big picture level? How are you contributing to the revenue growth of the company? All that is also very much important. So maybe when these students are building your fourth year projects, they can talk in terms of like Shark Tank led project description, where how they can actually contribute to revenue and drive the economy. One of the definite ways to get into those big tech jobs as well, because students definitely focus on how many hackathons they've cracked, how many technology stacks. But if you're able to think like a leader, definitely you are going to help your student achieve that job. Again, machine learning proficiency, this I would definitely rank stack into one. And everything that Mr. Prashant covered applies to this particular proficiency. But again, if there is a large number of volumes that are starting off as no coders, for those no coders, configuration led AI training would be the best. So we highly recommend. Again, Amazon is not paying me to say this, but we've actually found proven results where non-coders have turned into AI engineers. So be it your electrical, industrial, metallurgical departments, please feel free to come and you can actually learn on these various ways of building generative AI application, different architectural patterns, right? We were just touch basing upon it on how to use RAG, how to use fine tuning, where to use both to actually build robust systems. And of course, like the best thing about Bedrock is that it gives you inference parameters and different APIs to play around with in a playground. That will help the students achieve a real-time thinking of how a AWS employee, or for that matter, any of these, so Google or Meta workers, right? They will work on these kind of tinkering labs only. So this is how would definitely ask your students to have experiential learning. Again, like more than happy to share this particular link. In fact, we have trainers coming on Jan 3rd week, and we are starting the next cohort as well. So would definitely open it up to all of the students involved here with the faculties. Um, as we keep going further, there is more and more of a need of human-centered innovation. Now, what I mean by that is technically building AI systems that are actually helpful for humans, right? So we are not supposed to be driven by AI. Like the other day, I was solving a complex Excel sheet problem where we had like, hundreds and thousands of data inputs to be given and then work on a few formulas. And I did that through AI, and the AI said, look, I did the first 50 rows. Now you go ahead and do the rest. Right. So it was very shocking to me that AI is actually asking me to do the work, which is supposed to be its main competency. So all I wanted to say is that, the different ways of having this human machine as a social contract, where we are able to build trust in the machine to say leave it and do its job, which is going to be the nature of AI agentic workflows in the coming year 2025, where exactly in education sphere, in the academia sphere, say I have a class of 100 students and I am fully busy when preparing my PhD thesis, and I need to go evaluate 100 students based on their algorithmic acumen. I will just set up an agent to review the different parameters of how well they have written the syntax, how well they have actually done their coding? Have they applied critical thinking? Where could have they reduced the lines of code? Right? All these will be templatized in the manner of AI agents, and I'll just set the plugin to go do. It could be in the form of a Chrome plugin, and then I just give the inputs of the students' papers, and that AI agent is going to evaluate all of the 100 algorithms for me. So I have not only saved time, but I'm also like, winning at my dissertation here. So this is how we start needing to think that how to build more trust with the machine. That is where the principles of humanizing AI comes. Do we have desirability? Do we have empathy? Do we have a way to see if this particular product is commercial in the market? That is also important. Again, I come from a very social innovation background where we keep doing projects pro bono, especially in a country like India. Students cannot afford a whole lot. So a lot of things we have done free of cost. But I think if you, are building students for the age of tomorrow, having an entrepreneurial mindset and how to crack problems uh, through that entrepreneurial mindset is important. The number one would be problem solving. Second would be commercial factor. Is that particular problem going to have money that is being sent? Because if you look at the holy union of Ikigai, it's about what the world wants, what you have, and if you're going to get paid for it. That holy union is where the goal lies. That is going to be the norm for all the jobs that will be coming in the future as well. So it could be a student today who is an electrical engineer like myself, but has found love for design and is able to build a 3D avatar of a professor and actually automate it with an AI agent that is going to evaluate, um, different ways of evaluating a student. So I would go sell my product to, the edtech companies like Vedanta or, Upgrad, and I can actually earn more money like that, right? So that is the kind of thinking that we need to start inculcating if we want to be a 10 trillion economy by 2030, because it's also about how many jobs we create and not about how many jobs we seek. That is our singular mission where we want to create more job seekers. In fact, the statistics say that for every 13 men who are creating the jobs, there's only 2 women. We are trying to increase those numbers, and hopefully we will get there by 2030. When it comes to academia, I just wanted to emphasize that if you are able to tailor your teaching outcomes and through diverse abilities, right? So exactly like how we took 4 different economic drivers of our nation: agriculture, education, finance, and healthcare, and actually do projects through that, it sparks curiosity in students. They become lifelong learners because some of our students actually went to the farms and were like actually seeing how these different farmers were interacting with the people who are selling their goods. What we found out there very essentially was the data pipeline was broken. We were seeing the farmers, working with one of the aggregators there, writing in paper and pen. And then next they spoke to the middlemen who were talking to the supermarket. So those middlemen worked on, khata books, which is almost like Zoho books, but a little more, lesser frugal version. And then that data went into the snazzy, NoSQL databases of, big supermarkets. So when you see these 3 different fragmented systems, um, there is no way you will know how much inventory you need for harvesting a certain vegetable that needs to go all the way to become a papad or a pickle at the shelf, right? So how do you streamline this process? You build data pipelines, and then actually, ensure that this paper and pen is digitized, that goes into the backend system. Then this particular khata book or Zoho book is actually talking to that backend, to check whether, hey, look, they have regular inventory update with, harvesting their vegetables. And then this particular khata book evaluates and say, look, today's inventory is good, you can supply to the supermarkets. And then the supermarket, if they say, hey, look, there is a surplus demand due to festive season, then immediately they are actually talking to the farmers versus having fragmented silos, right? So this way it was great to understand that the students who are able to crack this are now, industry leaders in their own right. These students actually got offered to visit the Kisan Connect office as well. So really proud of these young builders there. So this is where I wanted to emphasize on learner-centered strategies, which is required for the workforce of tomorrow. How you build a holistic perspective, how you can zoom in and zoom out of a problem. I think Mr. Prashant does that very well. I've almost, it felt like I was sitting in an Oracle product, boardroom. So that was amazing. And how with personal connections you can actually learn more, because some of these students, they were able to talk from everyone from farmers to the leadership team in the we built through Amazon tech stack. So they were actually able to interact with the technical managers at Amazon, which was incredible. So those are the kind of skill set we want to be built, because that's where the new roles are going to be. You will see more of AI ethicists, prompt engineers, AI trainers, data annotators, right? So one of the different, like, let me just go in detail with the new roles, because this is dramatically going to shift the job landscape. And these roles are never heard of before. Um, Again, people think, hey, look, because AI has come, the initial jobs are going to go away. Be happy that the redundant jobs are going to go away, because that is where your creativity comes in place. You will know how to automate redundant tasks with robotic process automation tools like UiPath, Watson through IBM, right? These are some two great tools that can help you uh, digitize a lot of, like, manual labor. As a human, as a society, our main goal should be how to keep evolving. So anywhere you identify redundant problem, how you automate it would be the best way to start a new role and establish your credibility in the work as well. So, like I was saying, AI trainers, right? So, when I say trainers, it goes beyond the human training, but it's actually reinforced, learning mechanisms where these RHLF techniques technically will be trained for a longer period of time. Like I was saying, my first startup, SkillX, we had mapped 5,000 jobs to 75,000 skills. But the accuracy was working only for engineers, because only engineers were interacting with the system. That's why the precision became so good that it was 75% all engineers knew what were the career paths they needed to take. But versus somebody from a product management background came, they couldn't even get like proper accuracy rates there, because we didn't train the system for product management. We only trained the system for engineers. So that was a mistake that we did, and we should have trained it for all possible roles we put into that particular NLP powered tool. So those are the AI trainers we are looking at. And again, the prompt engineering, we've covered it in our first session, where you have the different ways of bringing human in the loop, trying to, get everything from your data structured through prompts to actually building a AI first mindset right from the time you wake up on, how many students are waiting for my query sessions to be answered. Your prompt engineering should actually be able to tell you that, based on your previous history, how many students you have done, how many students are still waiting for your queries to be resolved. Again, a brilliant example for data annotators, which is one of the latest jobs that we are seeing. There's this brilliant startup called Karya, which technically operates in the rural areas only. And what they do is they have given, thanks to the 2 GB to with less than 2 cents geo connection that we have in rurals, where they're able to take the phone and actually start talking in their own language, which analyzes a particular data set. Say you are trying to understand what is the latest Ayurveda meal within your state, because every state has different food recipes. Maybe in Chhattisgarh they eat ants for eyes, better eyes. There's something called a ant chutney. So they speak in that Chhattisgarh language and actually train the models. With this, what happens is, the Chhattisgarh, say it's a tribal language, they are able to build data labels on tribal language. And that's how our beautiful Bhashini LLM was built. So if you're a linguist and you have, like, a grip of four, 5 languages, this is your time to shine, because you will make a great data annotator yourself, and you're able to transform emerging economies through this one skill. So, moving forward, of course, the enhanced productivity is the king of the game. How you're able to reduce cost, reduce time, increase efficiency through any kind of automation, that framework is going to definitely land your students' jobs. So it can be all the way to, like I was saying, for farmer profitability, within farmer profitability, to bringing healthcare systems at a lesser dollar with average GPUs, that is able to tell malnutrition rates or detect breast cancer or any kind of cancer with minimal number of dollars, which is very much possible, and put it in the hands of people who do not have doctors, right? So that is going to be one of the biggest game changers, AI in healthcare. So definitely, when we are thinking about teaching our students, teaching them in domain-led ways would be a game changer, so they are able to be successful at applying the domain knowledge and learnings. Again, job displacement has been the biggest fear ever since AI striked. I think I'm the only one of the few people that was excited about AGI, and, like, I let the AGI do my job, and I can go on a meditation retreat in Rishikesh. So I'm just waiting for that day. But it looks like the students of today, right? Like, they are afraid that automation will take away their jobs. But what is the better thing here? You can actually become an engineering manager right from the time you get out. So not only are you actually building engineering systems now, but you are able to treat these systems like your employees, and you manage the systems, because now you have like 4 robotic process automation building workflows that are, say, doing in invoice processing, right? This is one of the biggest projects that we actually get in India, which is the invoice processing. Excuse my leg, it's just pins and needles at the moment. But invoice processing, how to take um, paper and pen, or, like, even like, which is not digitized form of data, convert it into digital formats, do a optical recognition on that, and then extract data from it to build business intel. That is going to be a game changer again, which can be achieved through robotic process automation tools like UiPath and IBM Watson. So these kind of things will be able to do the jobs, but all the students need to know is how to manage these. And that is the most beautiful part, wherein there was a time when, like, freshers used to be actually deployed in these different realms, but it like, who wants to do optical recognition job, right? When you have so much cognition as an engineering student, you should be able to challenge yourself and actually do more complicated tasks, because doing hard things, more of it, builds character and strength for lifelong learners. Again, obsolescence, like, as in more AI becomes sophisticated, we are seeing that a lot of jobs are going away, which is data entry jobs, data analyst jobs, BI reports that were once needing BI leads, like business intelligence leads. You no longer need that, because within matter of time, you are able to generate through Perplexity or these different gamma tools, beautiful dashboards. Again, Microsoft Copilot is a great tech stack. The designer tool also helps you build, through Power Apps, you are able to build end to end on how to build dashboards and actually extract business intelligence from there. So some of the great tools out there. This will, yes, 56% of these AI I mean, the entry level jobs are going away in 5 years. Better to start preparing and thinking like an engineering manager, in the sense it's not about people management but systems management, where you are able to just put in a, like a holy matrix of how you increase efficiency, reduce cost, and save time. This is it. Like any interview you need to crack, if you're able to showcase a project which has done these three, you will, like, your students will definitely get that job. So skill adaptation again, is actually the biggest way to survive in today's times as we keep going. Blockchain was the boom in 2021. We just hit like Bitcoin hit 100K, which is a big surge, and is going to be more valued than gold. So you will see dramatic shifts in different programming languages also, because the more of such decentralization frameworks come into play, you will see more coins creep up. So, Solana is actually coming to compete with Ethereum. Ethereum, although has the largest market cap, Solana Rust language program is going to go take the precedence. So how do we know all this? Because we are keeping an eye on the market and we are understanding the market dynamics. The USA has a Bitcoin president at the moment, so we know that majority of the transactions might just, go ahead into a very decentralized fashion, because USA as a power technically leads how the world works. The wave, I want to say, starts from USA, goes to Dubai, comes to India. That's how it's been. But hopefully our students is going to change that power dynamic soon, and we will see our students putting in more jobs, and that's why we are so passionate about creating jobs. So like I was saying, these upskilling techniques have to be very much ingrained with the market dynamics. Rust language programming was one, but then again, we touched upon the different ways of cybersecurity dynamics changing. So we recently had a cybersecurity attack which shut down airports. I think it caused up to like $1 trillion in loss, right? Crowdsource was the company, and they had contracts with Microsoft and whatnot. Despite that, there were some vulnerability mechanisms that were not taken place. I think it was like basic fixing, right, that needed through patches that didn't happen, and because of that, systems are shut down. There was just some like communication errors, and there's a lot more to it. But this is a great example on why the industry needs more cybersecurity experts, and how to build robust management without vulnerabilities. If there is a way to actually detect these vulnerabilities before even happening, those are the kind of jobs that, even if it is not in the resume, and if you have that skill set, like, the workplace will put that job saying that, look, we found this person able to build systems in, prior DDoS detection before the system gets shut down. So it's going to be a great way to build your own credibility and longevity in that particular workplace. So coming up with that innovation mindset versus order taking mindset is what I want to specify on. Again, lifelong learning, it is all about doing, which is more, we have this mantra called build, build, build. Um, it's not about how much you know about this particular thing. It's about what you've learned, how many times you've failed after building. That will build the character also of that student and the fresher as a working professional. When it comes to, the different ways of creative labor to manual labor that will be impacted, we are mostly seeing it in creative industries, manufacturing, transportation. I would say that, the safest job is teaching, because skilling is never in recession. And maybe that's why I'm very happy with, my venture as well, where we are constantly picking up new techniques, frameworks, methodologies, and dispersing it through various mediums, be it LinkedIn, Twitter. The way a classroom operates is changing very drastically, because you can learn from YouTube now. You can learn from Twitter Spaces. In fact, I believe it was Mr. Beast who is the #1 video creator. actually gave a Harvard case study on how to build the fastest 1 million subscribers and start earning from there. So as you see, like creative industries are taking over. It's no longer about how lucrative of an engineer you are, but um, how you can build into creative industries also. I think somewhere it's engineering seeps into every particular vertical, right? So the most successful Indian AI company right now, if you all can guess, maybe you can put it in the chat. I just want to see. Do you know what is the most successful AI company? Um, okay. It's actually in video AI, which is used for marketing purposes, right? Who thought that will be the biggest revenue bagger? I think they're adding like 2,400, like 2,400 crores or something on a regular basis. So that is the amount of uh, revenue that is being generated through creative industries, and engineering is a main part of it. Again, manufacturing, we've seen that uh, it interplays with the geopolitical dynamics. The more and more, US and China have this kind of competition, you will see those manufacturing jobs coming to India. And this is how we actually become that 10 trillion economy also, because our biggest revenue driver after an agricultural nation would be manufacturing. So how do we help students build supply chains? How do we optimize for minimal human in the loop, and automation takes place through these AI systems? That is something we are very proud to actually have built through our AI cohorts. Again, the transportation wise, we are seeing more and more mobility apps coming up. In fact, I think one of the biggest companies is Next Billion. That's actually an Indian founder. So they have geospatial technology that is mapped for truck drivers or any kind of cargo transport, right? Automatically to be done through autonomous vehicles, which is going to be more and more of the norm. In fact, when I was at PepsiCo, um, we saw autonomous Tesla trucks. I forgot what they call them. It's not Cybertruck, but something else. But that was more into shipment for the cargos for delivering these Pepsi colas and the chips and whatnot, from the harvesting to the transportation, and how to save fuel efficiency. So adding that climate change barriers also, and adding those kind of KPIs to building your systems is equally important on how you're impacting the environment, how you're able to actually build these robust systems with that kind of systems thinking. So those are the main industries. Would highly recommend to check on geospatial, autonomous vehicles, EV batteries, and creative industries, where more and more video tools, video visual mediums are going to be the norm here on. So I think we are almost, I believe, Kalapati ma'am, is it till 8:30? I think we are almost done, and then I'd like to keep some time for Q&A. Again, all of the work that we do for the skills for the workforce after AI cannot be done in silos alone. It just cannot be that look, the
Sorry,
professor.
ma'am, I didn't see my mic is muted. It's 1.5 hour session, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Sorry
So
to
it
disturb you.
no worries,
I'll,
ma'am. It
okay.
started at 7, right? Sorry, I'm having long hours and no sleep. I started
Okay.
at 7:30, right?
Okay. No problem, ma'am.
Right.
Yeah.
7:30. So I anyway, within the next 7-10 minutes, I'll be able to finish. Would
Okay,
love
ma'am.
to
No problem.
see how we
Okay.
can, optimize some of the resumes and some of the profiles that can help the job force actually get benefited, the workforce of tomorrow, which is our students. So just, coming to what I was saying about workforce training. it wouldn't just be what happens in colleges, but in tandem with industry and academia. I think the holy grail of finding that shared proposal between industry, academia, governance to bring in the programs is where we can harness gold and able to prepare the students for the workforce of tomorrow. By that, what I mean is, in fact, the recent Grace Hopper celebrations just happened in Bangalore. This was attended by 10,000 female forces and all women technologists. It was just the most amazing way to understand the latest and greatest in AI, ML, cloud, IoT, with the visual lens of the technologists, but uh, knowing how much they are funded by the government, knowing how many patents they have already established through their academic mediums, knowing how many of these solutions have been incubated in their own colleges. That is how we can start building this ecosystem within the colleges and start retraining programs. I definitely would suggest that whenever there is a big newspaper breakthrough that happens in the media, which is exactly like crowdsource causing $1 trillion of or maybe billion, I'm sorry, I might get the billions wrong, but loss, it is very equally important to establish that, hey, look, we have these AI engineers who can also do cyber security, and people will start coming to you with placements versus us going and chasing placements for the students, right? So it's very important to be prepared for that opportunity. Again, job protection measures, like I was saying, there are policies definitely being employed where I think engineering students are very much protected because AI engineers are the most in demand in the market currently. But also how to protect certain jobs in the sense, like, not AI can't do everything, correct? Like doctors will still be there, healthcare is still going to need that human touch, and those kind of jobs are going to stay. So it's good to see how can AI augment as a second brain to these kind of human jobs, right? So even if it's, say, placements might not come, how do you start building that job mindset just within the community of, say, where the students are saying there might be doctors who are struggling with just basic, taking appointments and making sure there is an appointment system. It can be done with basic AI tools these days, which will not take more than 48 hours to actually deploy. So those, that kind of job mindset, if we start having, like looking around us and seeing who are the humans who actually need efficiency, automation, uh, if engineers start providing that, I think we will never have these kind of skilled labor shortages. So that is one thing I would love to understand the job protection measures. Again, like I was saying, RPA, robotic process automation kind of jobs where you are able to save time, increase efficiency, reduce cost. Those are your job protection measures. Try to take that framework every realm that you go to. Last but not the least, ethical guidelines. It's really important to make sure that our systems are balanced. Right now, if you go to any of the AI tools and actually uh, do a prompt of, like, show me the top CEOs in an AI format, it will only show men. In fact, CEOs, maybe it will show 2 women and 8 men, but for CTOs, it will show only all men. So it is really important to start building systems that understand the human cognition, which requires diverse perspectives and global views. So the point is to build local talents for global competency. So if the students are able to crack different scholarships through different global perspectives. I've recently, in fact, in Vvit, I think one of the students cracked the Stanford healthcare scholarship for one of the conferences. Really proud of a girl sitting in Guntur being able to crack this scholarship conference in Silicon Valley. So that is a kind of core competency that the job force is looking for. And I'm pretty sure with the amalgamation of industry, academia, governance, we'll be able to achieve that. Just to sum up everything, right, it's all about the Darwin box theory of evolution. It's, evolve or be perished. So embrace a continuous learning mindset through DIY projects, experiential learning, source from startups. In fact, I would even, recommend, like, if there are ways, professionals like Prashant can actually help us do like a Oracle tour, right? Like that itself gives a lot of visibility into what happens on the workflows on a ground. Again, not to put Prashant on a spot or anything, but this just like came out. Like just having that industry tours, sitting and understanding how the different handshakes happen, how a workplace professional behaves in a certain setting, matters so much. These character building activities are probably more seen when you start off. Um, versus the competency at a later stage. So definitely would recommend that. Again, collaboration, it's all about teamwork now. It's even more about AI augmented brain, where we are in a stage where we have two brains, and how we are able to effectively leverage AI through RAG, fine tuning, different ways of automations, prompt engineering, building that morning to night of how is AI helping us. That kind of mindset will help you in a collaborative era of intelligence. It is no longer human versus machines. It is humans being augmented by machines. So this is the way to go forward. Again, ethical considerations, I'm putting this again and again because definitely, this is the year, which is like 2025. Responsible AI is going to be the number one job driver. So what I mean by that is, are we building for all genders equally? Are we able to deploy systems where the system is understanding equally for urban poor, rural, tier 2, tier 3, right? So all categories should be covered. In fact, there was one of the studies with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. In fact, it was written in Melinda Gates' book, where, again, like I keep going back to the farmer example, the farmers in Africa, they were given a certain study where they have to sow a certain seed, and they were noticing how those seeds were sown from what height in order for the optimal crop to grow, so they can start harvesting a particular type of paddy. Um, so whoever was noting down the statistics or the KPIs of that particular study only noted how at what height the men were dropping those particular paddy seeds, and no one saw the women going later because they were taking care of the children, then going in the afternoon time when the children were asleep. When they bent, the seed was like sown at a lower height, right? So all of that was not taken into consideration. And after the study, when that machine came out to automate that particular paddy harvest, it could only harvest at the crops of a certain height, and not at the crops at which the woman actually had sold. So just some basic KPIs that were missing on the height difference of what the men in Africa sown versus women in Africa, also because of the different physical statures, that changed the entire system, right? There was a loss of so much money in building those systems and actually trying out. So that's one place where we think these don't matter or not negligible, but they definitely play a very bigger game. So responsible AI, putting that in your in the student's resume, building projects for responsible AI is going to get that student much more of a lucrative job versus just being an AI engineer. So with that, I would love to, wrap up for any kind of sessions, sorry, any kind of questions, and, just probably take additional queries on LinkedIn. Kindly note down my LinkedIn. Please feel free to reach out. I'm most active on LinkedIn platform, so happy to take questions. Okay, let me just check.
Any questions from participants?
Again, I think because the jobs are more of for the workforce of tomorrow, it applies to how we build our curriculums and sessions for the students. For the teachers, like I was saying, it's the safest job, and like you are actually driving our nation. So there is no dearth of skilling. Just understanding what are the different frameworks that apply to which target demographic of students. If that is taken care of, everything else is taken care of. Okay, no questions.
Madam, I have, madam,
Yes, yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Please tell me.
Uh, in the engineering colleges, what happens is the students learn by examples. Most of the time, what we try to do is we try to teach the academics, and uh, we somehow make their mindset to go for the jobs, right? And for that, we bring some companies and try to attach. Uh, Instead, I don't know how well this question goes. Mm, how can a faculty member empower himself so that he will become the example for the students? He himself can take a few of the final year students as the interns. He can pay them so that he will become an example, uh, so that the student will go one step ahead.
Wow. Yes, a brilliant thought. Firstly, like, I love the way of putting the faculty at the front and center of academia, like it should be, because it's such a thankless job. And, so many hours going to nurturing the student. So, sir, I do believe like in USA masters, right? They do have these kind of uh, programs where if the faculty is coming up with a breakthrough product, or if they have some kind of invention in terms of just addressing a latest problem, even if it's a basic innovation, right? In terms of say you build a AI avatar to actually replace some of the modules of your teaching, you are building that. So through computer science, that is possible. Like you probably need 3D media assets. You can program the sentiment analysis of that avatar. This is just an example. Again, it can be anything from building a D2C marketplace for students and their innovation. That is also one great way. But if you have some kind of a idea that is not present in the market and you're able to build it, definitely the students can come in as your research assistant ship, sir. And then I'm pretty sure, like, Nidhi Prayas Yojana and lot of these government schemes are able to fund your lab. Like, having a research lab that is funded by a faculty, that is going to be a game changer, sir. So maybe it's just about identifying that one problem, putting the proposal towards the Nidhi Prayas Yojana, or even some of these SRISS schemes. They will be able to then select that particular idea and actually fund it for you. That will help you start giving salaries to your student as research assistants and teaching assistants in some form. And then you can build your own like entrepreneurship empire within your academia. So it's more like a community led commerce model. Like, even we try that. So just an example, if some of these students have built uh, the financial literacy board. So we've trained the students to actually go and start integrating it with the existing fintech apps that are not reaching out to tier 2, tier 3 rural India, which is where most of our volumes lie. So India 1 is only 10 million. India 2, India 3 is where, like, the 140 million come from. So most of it. So Building for that rural and tier 2, tier 3 area, definitely there are ways, sir, and you will be able to get funding for that and start like, giving honorarium to your students also. I hope that helps, and definitely keep in touch with you. If there's more kind of programs like this coming up, we'll let you know, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Priyanka. Any
All right.
questions?
Yes. Ma'am, I just had like 15 minutes more just to show some plugins, like Chrome plugins that are useful for the jobs of tomorrow.
Okay.
So it's one of the example is, like job scan, right? So is my screen still visible?
Yeah, your screen is visible.
Yeah, this is the US version. I will try to research and find the India version for it. The biggest issue with cracking the jobs right now is the ATS, because nowadays resumes are not talking to humans, they are talking to systems. So if the students are able to build these kind of tools also, right, where how to, how this particular ATS scanner is scoring that particular resume. In fact, one of our marginalized girl, Chandrakala, she belongs to Charupalli village. She actually built it. I shall share that, ma'am, with all
Okay.
the resources. Yeah. So she built something where a resume can actually help job seekers understand whether they are optimized for LinkedIn, optimized for job tracking, matcher. These are some data-driven insights that the students themselves can start working on, and that tool will help them crack more jobs actually. So this is one, and again, like, I think there's a very beautiful example of Netflix product. So whenever there are these kind of product roles, I think, Netflix product wireframe by student. So how to build, like low fidelity apps through the company that they're applying. Say Netflix is actually hiring. How can students start building these kind of low fidelity tools to improve the existing system, will actually help them get more jobs versus us waiting for this job provider to come and then crack it. So whenever the students see these kind of LinkedIn um, options for jobs, like, hey, look, we are hiring for a product manager or a AI engineer to optimize a Netflix recommendation engine. How you can actually categorize the user personas, that data into different sentiments, and actually power the system. It will be great for the students to start building these kind of real time low fidelity apps. It could be anything from Uber app to Amazon supply chain, how it does trillions of transactions per day, how you're able to reduce the vulnerabilities or anomalies in that particular transaction would be great. So these are some of the tips we definitely give. Again, having a robust LinkedIn would be great. You, like, what all your achievements are, just highlight those, and then you are able to actually attract more folks that come. Again, LinkedIn email finder, you will find a lot of HR folks. You can just extract the data and start reaching out to them with the third year, fourth year projects, which is relevant to their domain and industry. That will also help out a lot. But having said that, nothing beats, these are all ancillaries. The main problem that we want to solve is experiential learning, that is learning by doing. And we are living in a time where all these resources are available, especially for students. They get full credits and full access to these kind of building mechanisms, right from the materials to actually even hands-on labs. They can actually get this. So with that, just wanted to thank everyone for being here today. And hopefully we are prepared for 2025 and years above us to be more of a AI augmented human, where we are able to reduce the redundancy and actually increase efficiency through our work. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Priyanka. With your permission, I want to say a few things about you.
Okay. Sure, ma'am.
Okay,
I have
before
to
going to
secure.
the vote of thanks, Priyanka, she is not only an inspiring individual, she is very dedicated in empowering and educating girl students in cutting edge technologies like our blockchain technology and generative AI. Especially through her initiative like 100 Giga, she has made it her mission to bridge the gender gap in technology and industry by providing unparalleled training opportunities to the girl engineering students, particularly young women, without expecting anything in return. That is we are very fortunate. Last year, she educated 100 of our girl students, and not only from our college, across India. She trained all the students in generative AI and trained students to develop models for a period of 3 months by taking 3 hours per day, three days per week, and each and every day she took 3 hours. She brought resource persons not only from India, she brought resource persons from United States of America also. Since today's topic is on building and training the skill forces, I want to say this about, I want to say all these things about her. And it is very, we are all working women, how difficult it is to spend 3 hours daily after the working hours, but she took for 3 months. She is very dedicated in her passion on training girl students and providing job opportunities. With her help, few of students, they have gone to grasshopper celebrations also. There they have grabbed many opportunities, and some of our students, they are participating in Stanford Gen AI also. This is my heartfelt thanks to Priyanka, and I request all the participants also utilize this kind of opportunity. She is really an inspiring person. Being a woman, she want to educate all the girl students and young women. Really, it is. I have not seen in industry so many people. They expect many things, but without taking a single paisa. She trained for 3 hours with US resource person. That is really marvelous. Thank you, Priyanka. Now,
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Ma'am,
go to
I do
our
second what you just said. I've known her for the last
sir.
2 years now. It's been
Okay.
absolute privilege. She brings the same kind of passion every single time.
Yes, sir.
So there's this brilliant, the kind of motivation, intrinsic motivation that she has, the kind of passion that she brings. It's unparalleled. So it's
These words came from my heart, sir.
Hmm.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Really means a lot, especially coming from educators. We do feel the pain. It's like, the students become like your family, right? You want to see them doing well. And this is the toughest job market we've seen in history. I honestly don't want to be graduating at this point, but we feel the pain a lot.
Yes,
I think just having a good network of resources coming from industry, these particular SMEs, subject matter expertise, it's all, it takes a village, ma'am. So I wouldn't take the credit myself, but a lot of people are involved. But yes, I think somewhere it's from, the main emotional connect. I struggled as an electrical engineer to get jobs. So I had to go upskill myself in computer science, which led me to USA. That I didn't go for masters, but it went because, I did have these additional skills. So it's not some extraordinary framework. It's just like, from my journey, I'm just taking lessons and sharing it. That's all. So thank you.
Thank you, Sirisha.
Yes, ma'am.
Please propose a formal vote of thanks.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you, Mrs. Priyanka Kamath, for an outstanding session. Your insights on cultivating an AI first mindset have provided a clear vision of how we, as educators, can prepare our students for the rapidly evolving future. Your talk has been an invaluable addition to our program, motivating us to rethink our approaches to education and workforce readiness. We deeply appreciate your time and efforts, ma'am. Thank you once again to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure being here. And Prashant, thanks for the kind words as well. I resonate with you too.
Prashant sir, please switch on your camera, sir. And I also request all the participants and honorable speakers to switch on their cameras for your photo session.
Ma'am,
Can
Priyanka,
you
ma'am,
please
please
stop sharing?
screen sharing, ma'am.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
I'll switch to
Dear participants, as we conclude the third day of our faculty development program, fourth day of our faculty development program on unlocking innovations with blockchain and generative AI, I thank all the participants and I thank all the speakers for delivering such a nice sessions. To both our speakers, thank you for your illuminating presentations. To all our participants, your active engagement and thoughtful questions have made today's session truly remarkable. Let us carry this momentum forward to the tomorrow as we continue to explore and unlock the transformative power of these groundbreaking technologies. Thank you all and have a wonderful evening. Thank you all. Good night, sir, and good night, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye.